Dear students, today we are going to study together the past continuous tense, also known as the past progressive. Before we start, please take a look at these two sentences. Can you tell the difference? 1. We are playing tennis at the moment. 2. We were playing tennis yesterday evening. Yes, the first sentence is in the present continuous. How could you tell? Because of the time expression at the moment. It means that the action of playing tennis is happening at the moment of speaking. As for the second sentence, it is in the past continuous. How could you tell? Because of the time expression yesterday evening. It means that the action of playing tennis was in progress at a past point in time, which is yesterday evening. Today's agenda, you will be able to 1. Know the usages of the past continuous tense and its meaning. 2. Use the verb in the past continuous tense. 3. Know its form and different time expressions. 4. Negate a sentence in the past continuous tense. 5. Form a question in the past continuous tense. The first thing we have in our agenda today is the usage of the past continuous. There are 4 usages for the past continuous. The first one is when we talk about something which was happening at a specific time in the past. For example, last night at 6 p.m. I was eating dinner. Why did I use the past continuous here? Because it is an action that was in progress at a specific time in the past, which is last time at 6 p.m. Did I start eating my dinner before 6 p.m. yesterday? Yes. Was I still eating my dinner after 6 p.m. yesterday? Yes. So was this action in progress at 6 p.m. yesterday? Yes. In other words, the past continuous means that I was in the middle of doing something at a certain time. The action or situation had already started before this time, but hadn't finished. Another example, she was listening to music yesterday evening. When did she start listening to music? Yesterday evening. Did it take time? Yes. Was this action in progress yesterday evening? Yes. At midnight, we were still driving through the desert. How can you tell this is the past continuous? Because of the word still, it means driving through the desert was an action in progress at midnight. Yesterday at this time, I was sitting at my desk at work. Was this action, the action of sitting at my desk at work, in progress yesterday at this time? Yes. Is there a specific time in the past in the sentence? Yes. What is it? Yesterday at this time. Usage number 2 of the past continuous. We use the past continuous to talk about 2 or more actions that were in progress at the same time in the past. For example, I was doing my homework and my sister was playing the guitar. How many actions do we have here? 2. What are they? Me doing my homework and my sister playing the guitar. Did the 2 actions happen at the same time in the past? Yes. How can you tell? Because of the conjunction and, which indicates that the 2 actions are simultaneous, that is to say, happening at the same time. Another example, Dad was cooking while Mom was making coffee. Were the 2 actions of cooking and making coffee simultaneous? Were they in progress at the same time in the past? Yes. How can you tell? Because of the conjunction while. So, we have 3 conjunctions that indicate simultaneous actions. They are while, when, and. The third usage of the past continuous, we use the past continuous to describe a scene of a story. For example, the sun was shining and the children were swimming in the sea. These actions of the sun shining and children swimming are used in the past continuous to set the background for a story before the actual narrative begins with the past simple. The same applies here too in this sentence, in this example. The teacher was talking and Tom was crying. This is a description of a scene in a story. Usage number 4. We use the past continuous to indicate that a longer action in the past was interrupted. The interruption is usually a shorter action in the past simple. For example, I was watching TV when she called. Did I start watching TV before she called? Yes. Was the action of watching TV in progress when she called? Yes. Did I stop watching TV? Yes. Why? To answer the phone, to answer her call. Another example. I was listening to my iPod, so I didn't hear the fire alarm. Did I start listening to my iPod before the fire alarm was activated? Yes. Was the action of listening to my iPod in progress when the fire alarm was activated? Yes. Did I stop listening to my iPod? No. Why? Because I didn't hear the fire alarm. So where is the longer action here? Listening to the iPod. This is why it is in the past continuous. You were not listening to me when I told you to turn the oven off. Where is the longer action here? Listening. And the shorter one? Being told to turn the oven off. This is why listening is in the progressive tense and told is in the simple past. While John was sleeping last night, someone stole his car. Where is the longer action here? Sleeping. And the shorter action? Stealing the car. Was John asleep before the car was stolen? Yes. Was the action of sleeping in progress when the car was stolen? Yes. That's why sleeping is in the past continuous and stole is in the past simple. Sammy was waiting for us when we got off the plane. Was Sammy waiting for us before we got off the plane? Yes. Was the action of waiting in progress when we got off the plane? Yes. Was the action of waiting interrupted when we got off the plane? Yes. Why? To leave the airport and go home. So where is the longer action here? Waiting. This is why it is in the past continuous. And the shorter action, getting off the plane. It is in the simple past. The second item we have in our agenda for today is the form of the past continuous. The form of the past continuous consists of verb to be in the past, that is was or were, plus verb plus ing. We will start by the affirmative and the negative. To use the past continuous in the affirmative, we use was or were plus verb plus ing. We use was with I, he, she, it, and we use were with you, we, and they. For example, to use the past continuous in the affirmative, they were doing their homework yesterday evening. I was walking to school when I was a kid. It was 9 o'clock when I was running in the park. As for the negative form, we add not after was or were plus verb plus ing. For example, she wasn't practicing sports when I called her. They weren't watching TV when she got back from work. Now, how to form a question in the past continuous tense? We have two types of questions in English, WH questions and yes or no questions. With WH questions, we use question words such as where, what, why, when, how, plus was or were, plus verb plus ing. Was with I, he, she, it, and were with we, you, they. They could be two names, for example, Mike and John, or Paul and I. As for yes or no questions, we use was or were at the beginning of the question, plus the subject, plus the main verb, plus ing. For example, was he playing? Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. Were you swimming? Yes, we were. No, we weren't. Examples. Were they watching TV all day when they were teenagers? This is a yes or no question. To answer in the affirmative, we say, yes, they were. To answer in the negative, we say, no, they weren't. Was he working at this time yesterday? To answer in the affirmative, we say, yes, he was. To answer in the negative, we say, no, he wasn't. These two examples are examples of yes or no questions. What about WH questions? We have here, what was Tom doing when Emmy fell down? He was sleeping. Who were you playing football at this time? Who were playing football at this time last Tuesday? Jake and Kate. Now let's do some practice together. Correct the verbs in brackets. Number 1, they in the lake yesterday afternoon. And we have in brackets the verb swim. The answer is they were swimming. We use the past continuous here because the action of swimming was happening at a specific time in the past, which is yesterday afternoon. Number 2, he on the coach from 6 to 7 p.m. and we have the verb sleep between brackets. The answer is he was sleeping on the coach from 6 to 7 p.m. The action was in progress. It took time. From when to when? From 6 to 7 p.m. Number 3, a book all day yesterday and we have the verb read between brackets. The answer is I was reading a book all day yesterday. The action of reading was in progress all day yesterday. The key word here is all. It means that it took time. 4, we breakfast at 7 a.m. yesterday and we have the verb have between brackets. We were having breakfast at 7 a.m. yesterday. The action was in progress at a specific time in the past, which is at 7 a.m. yesterday. 5, Sarah the fence this morning, and we have the verb paint between brackets. Sarah was painting the fence this morning. The action of painting was in progress at a specific time in the past. What is the specific time? This morning. 6, the kids the picture yesterday morning, and we have the verb color between brackets. The kids were coloring the picture yesterday morning. We used were here because of kids. The word kids is plural. And we use the past continuous because the action of coloring was happening at a specific time in the past. That is yesterday morning. 7, you about the accident at this time yesterday, and we have the verb talk between brackets. The answer is you were talking about the accident at this time yesterday. Here we used were because we have you and the past continuous because the action of talking was in progress at this time yesterday. 8. The dog all night. And we have the verb bark between brackets, yes. The dog was barking all night yesterday. We used was here because we have the subject, the dog, which equals it, which equals the pronoun it. We use the past continuous because the action of barking was in progress in the past. To be more specific, last night. The key word here is all. It indicates that the action took time. 9. We to the radio yesterday morning. Listen. The answer is we were listening to the radio yesterday morning. Here we used the helping verb were because the pronoun we comes with were in the past. We used the past continuous because the action of listening was in progress at a specific time in the past, yesterday morning. 10. Pete his car all morning, and we have the verb wash between brackets. Pete was washing his car all morning. Here we used was because it comes with he, and Pete, because it comes with he, and Pete is a he, it's a boy's name. We use the past continuous because the action of washing the car was in progress in the past. The key word here is all morning. Now let's practice together how to form a question using the past continuous. Jamie was doing a language course in London. What am I asking about here? I'm asking about a place. I'm asking about London. London is a place. To ask about a place, which question word should I use? The question word were. So we're going to form a WH question. So the question is, where was Jamie doing a language course? Jamie was doing a language course in London. 2. Andrew was carrying a heavy box. What am I asking about here? I'm asking about an object, a heavy box. To ask about an object, which question word should I use? Question word what? So the question should be, what was Andrew carrying? Andrew was carrying a heavy box. 3. The teacher was testing our English. What am I asking about here? I'm asking about the subject, the teacher. Is it a person or a thing? It's a person. To ask about a person, which question word should I use? The question word who. So the question is, who was testing our English? The teacher was testing our English. At 6 o'clock, we were having dinner. What am I asking about here? I'm asking about time at 6 o'clock. To ask about time, which question word should I use? The question word when. So the question should be, when were you having dinner? We use here the inversion technique to form a question. Were we instead of we were. When were you having dinner? We were having dinner at 6 o'clock. Sally was hurrying to school because she was late. What am I asking about here? I'm asking about a reason, a cause. How can you tell? We have the word because. This is the key word here that indicates a reason or a cause. To ask about a reason, which question word should I use? The question word why. So the question is, why was Sally hurrying to school? Sally was hurrying to school because she was late. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.